Welcome to Healings and Meditations with Frank Jordan and the Earth Mind Think Tank Group. We welcome all listeners and chatters. Any questions can be called in to 1-775-657-5973. 1-775-657-5973. If you're in the chat room on Wolf Spirit Radio, which is wolfspiritradio.com/wolf chat, please post questions in uppercase letters, in capital letters. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We're just trying to get a hold of the group, and we'll be starting in just one moment. Good morning, everyone. I think we have you, so you can go right ahead. Well, I've joined the call.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.
Maybe not. Sorry, guys. One sec. We've got you and everything's good, so go right ahead, guys.
Well, good morning, Tracy. Well, I finally made it on here. And good morning, everyone. Well, the best
Good morning.
Joan is doing wonderfully well. I just got off the phone with her, and she thanks you all for your love and support. It's been a trying time for her, of course, as any major surgery is, but we're looking forward to her being able to be a lot more mobile now and get around and do things with us. And, well, welcome to you too, Tracy. It's been some time since we've been together. And is Dave all right?
Dave is just fine. He's just needed some help because he was doing a lot on his own, so I've stepped in to give a little pause for the cause. So everything's good, and we're all just here working together.
All right. Well, good then. Well, we're having wonderful weather in Nevada. It's been pouring rain for the last 24 hours. And I see by the weather maps it's not making it down into Southern California. And it doesn't look like there's anything coming in, but we'll put our attention on the Pacific, on that deep low that's sitting out there that is feeding energy into the northwest. And let's just put our attention on that now and do it as though you were in that low, you are that low. And drop your awareness down the spine into Earth Mind, and reach out through the Earth Mind grid to the Devic forces that hold the weather patterns in form. See yourself in that trough that comes down from the Gulf of Alaska that brings the weather with it. And it's just like a feeling of sucking on it. You just pull it down, move it down into the Southern Ocean, where so as it comes across, it includes California with it. And it's a unique feeling when you turn into the weather divas. It's just like they are so vast and so encompassing that you just feel like you're spread all over. But they are responding to our intent and our desire and will to pull them down. And we can also reach into, through Earth Mind, to all the living organisms in the southern United States, Southwest. Include those in your desire, your need for moisture. when you feel a fullness in the Pacific off of California, that fullness is our thought form. Move that thought form inward, bringing the Pacific moisture down. It's too late to do much for the irrigation system, but we certainly help the plants and animals that are in need in the Southwest. And also direct energy, moisture to the fires to keep the humidity high. For the benefit of those who have not been on our meditation with us before, there's a very specific technique, if you want to call it that, or a system of accessing the subconscious mind, and through that there's mind and the grids of consciousness that hold everything in form. So I'm going to walk you through that one more time, and it's good for everyone, even the think tank groups, to focus a lot of attention on this and wonder, because this is pulling together the forces within our group mind consciousness that actually accomplishes this work. And take your awareness up into your forehead now. Take one step back behind your forehead. That's where the indwelling soul resides. And just reach out laterally now to all the other souls in the world that we're working with. Become one with the group mind conscious of the world. That's on our soul intent. Then take a step further back to the psychic intent, to the psychic center. And here's where you communicate with other beings. So we'll move on through that now. Take another step back, way deep in yourself. This is like going into hypnotism. It's the same thing the hypnotists do it, but they do it objectively. They dominate the experience. We do it subjectively, so that we're in control all the way. And this is a good way to learn self-hypnotism, so you can access your own subconscious mind, and so you can do things within your system. Very powerful. Now feel that expansion down through the subconscious mind to the heart center. This is the 0 point where all things come into form. Now just get the feeling of the positive and negative polarities. The positive being the oversoul portion of the body from the heart up, and the undersoul being the negative polarity from the heart down. And that is what holds the focus of the subtle energy fields that operate through the 0 point to create our ongoing manifestation. So you come to this point when you want to do anything within yourself or out in the energetic systems, and be in this step back observer position, and yet connected to the 0 point. made one with the God force. And then you direct your conscious mind. I know it's hard to use your conscious mind in that state, but you take that intent with you when you go under what you want to accomplish, and it's already being prepared. Now we'll drop our awareness down the spine to the root chakra, and through that reach down and feel the resonance of earth mind. The silicon dioxide in the crust of the earth, 63% of the earth's crust, that is a gigantic computer chip. It holds every frequency of energy that's ever been generated by DNA of any form on this planet from the time of its beginning. And we can follow that DNA resonance right back through time to do not only past life work, to go back to the point of time that we can recreate the reality of any point where wrong choice was made, and bring that parallel reality through to literally change virtually anything in form. And it's all done in the subtle energy field. Now, in this program, we primarily work on the earthquake system, releasing earthquake energy prior to its release as energy in the shocks, tremors, the movements of the earth. We release the excess stress energy and utilize that by taking it upward, upper spines, out through the crown chakra, and on up into the ionosphere, where we've created a golden grid of consciousness surrounding the earth, a protective field to protect earth from solar flares, electromagnetic anomalies of any kind. And so let's look at that now. Let's put our attention on the sun. And we do see some flares building up that could go into the class M level. So now an interesting aspect of this is we can pull energy off the sun also and redirect those energy bursts so that they do not create solar flares on the earth. They narrowly miss us, and we do that now. We direct those solar flares, the timing of the earth, because the earth is a gigantic aspect of the God Force consciousness. It's our energy source, and in many ways the creator of our physical form that has created and holds in form and supplies the energy of life to us. So in this step back, unifying oneness with the God Force, we can make requests and it responds. So we divert the flows, the M-class flows around the earth, through the solar winds, and out the other side. And in doing so, we also take our awareness into earth mind itself and the electromagnetic fields. We strengthen the electromagnetic field, the natural fields that are our protective shield around the earth, the ionosphere of the earth. And we use the energy, the gravitational energy coming from the sun, we transmute that into electromagnetic energy in the ionosphere. As a protective shield. Now bring your awareness back to Southern California, and we tune into the earthquake grid there. And it's just like extending yourself through the earth, because every locality on earth has a node in this vast grid of consciousness. And when we put our attention on a certain spot, we're automatically connected to that point. So take your awareness into the earthquake grid of Southern California and feel that flow over you. Feel the tension of the stress building up, and lift that energy up your spine, out through the crown chakra, up through the oversoul, into the ionosphere, and use it to strengthen our golden grid. We've done this often enough. We have a gigantic thought field construct around the earth now. And it's amazing that, no, it's not amazing, it's the truth, that scientists have recognized that something new has happened in the ionosphere, because the solar flares, the G-forces that used to come through are now diverting around the earth, and they're very thankful, although they don't understand why. We have narrowly avoided some serious flares in the past. Feel the energy rising up your spine, around the earth, where this energy is stored in this vast grid, where we can use it to affect weather patterns, social consciousness, the dimensional reality that we're creating. The energy is never lost. It just changes form. And thought force is an energy force of itself. It is the creating, manifested, constructing energy of life. And that's what we are learning to cooperate with, become co-creators in our reality instead of being subjective to it. Now move your awareness further up along the San Andreas Fault to San Diego. There's a scattering of activity all up along the San Andreas Fault, and that's desirable. That's what we want. Keep it at a low rate of release, because that is a slip fault, sideways slip of the Pacific plate moving up along the continental plate. Take us all the way up through San Francisco to the California-Oregon line. There's some activity in that fault that veers out into the ocean, the base of the San Juan de Fuca plate. And that plate is a subduction zone. It's moving inward. And so that's created the Cascade Range. But before we go there, we'll take our attention to Sierra Nevada mountains to the east of California. This is a subduction plate also. Lift the energies from there, the full length of that. There's a lot of minor scattered activity all the way out through the Great Basin. This is relatively new. This is new activity, much of it. This shows that some of the old fault lines are waking up because of increased thrust. Take our awareness to the southern portion of the Rocky Mountains. And follow that train up through Utah. into the Yellowstone. You tune into the cauldron, Yellowstone cauldron. Get your awareness down into the earth and feel the heat of that cauldron. Goes all the way into the core. Lift that energy upward, up the spine, creating an incredible flow of natural energy into the ionosphere that can feed our shield constantly. In doing so, reduce the amount of the threat, as well as giving us energy to work with. Take your awareness down through Montana, northern Idaho, back to the Pacific Northwest, and release the energy that's moving in the Cascade Range through the subduction zone. Lift it all upward. And this is an interesting feeling because we have the feeling of this is harmonic energy. It's such a steady release that the scientists have commented on it. Instead of the buildup of sudden jerks and minor to large earthquakes, it's a harmonious release. And this has only begun to happen since we've been doing our work. Take your awareness to Alaska. Ongoing considerable activity in Alaska. The south central part on the north side of the Aleutian Islands, that fault line that runs all the way through and up into Alaska. It's a steady release. There are even some up in the Brooks Range, new down the Aleutian chain, low to mid-range activity there. That's subduction zone activity. Come on across now to Russia, down the Kamchatka Trench to Japan. Only minor activity there today, but we tune into the trench and Japan itself and lift the Earth's energy that could build up into an earthquake or any destructive force later, and we create a spiraling flow of energy and surround the nuclear reactors and carry that nuclear activity up into the ionosphere where it's transmuted into beneficial energy. This is another function of the golden grid, is to stabilize conditions on Earth and hold the natural and beneficial form for all living organisms. Now we allow that flow to continue. We take our point of attention to Taipei, Taiwan. There's a 5.6 there, and that's enough to do a little damage. Release those energies. Coming down into the Philippines. 6.2 at Alim, Philippines. That's an ongoing point of activity, so I suspect a volcano there. Take awareness on down into the Indonesian crescent. Only minor to mid-range activity there. Lift that upward. And move eastward to New Guinea and the Solomon Islands, all the way through Vanuatu and Samoa. These are volcanic islands. Tonga is having a lot of activity at this time. Take our attention southward to New Zealand. No activity, but let's tune in and release North Island potential earthquake, fairly large, just south of Auckland. You can feel that in your heart, above your heart, the stress of that. That's Earth Mind calling our attention to do preemptory work. Lift that upward. This is quite large. Clear the stress, lubricate the activity, and this being inland is probably a volcano. Release that stress as transmuted energy. Releasing the volcano. Even though it hasn't reached the surface yet, possibly. There's a lot of energy built up there in North Island of New Zealand. Okay, now we'll keep an eye on that one. Take your awareness eastward now, across the Pacific to South America. The coastline and the Andes, Chile, are showing a lot of new activity. This, again, is the lateral plate movement, as well as subduction movement, creating this activity. So just gather those subduction energies rising out of the ancient volcanoes. That's their natural release. And release it. Release it before it can build up enough stress to become an active volcano or earthquakes. And move on northward to Peru. Inland activity. up to Colombia, and on to Central America, ongoing activity, small to medium earthquakes, Palomares, Mexico, 5.6. Then we move eastward to Puerto Rico. There's just a cluster of small earthquakes all over that entire region. It's under constant release. We want to keep that energy released so we don't have a repeat of what happened in Haiti. Now take your point of attention to the Mediterranean area. Cuco, Albania, 4.5. Makri, Gailos, Greece, now move eastward to Iran. There's a fault line that runs through the Persian Gulf. There's activity on that. Lift that energy upward. China seems to be pretty clear at this time. Take our awareness across the Pacific, back to our point of beginning, and the central United States, Stillwater, Oklahoma, where so much fracking is causing a lot of dislocation and pollution in the earth. We use that energy that's being released as the minor earthquakes. We use that to transmute any pollutants that are being created in that area, to neutralize the water supplies. Now, we don't necessarily lift that into the ionosphere. We use that energy locally to transmute the pollution or any detrimental effects of the fracking. And we move on eastward to Missouri. There's some ongoing activity on that primary fault line there. It runs north and south. On Malden, Missouri. Release that energy before it can create a new Madrid experience. Now take your awareness back into your own system. Lift our energy upward to the grid of consciousness of human beings. And through those, through the psychic grid, reach out and touch everyone involved in the financial structure of the world. And the world, the climax of the new world order, which is being created as we move into the fourth dimension. The battle between the new world order, new world reality, and the the forces of the domination forces of the cabal, and we see the cabal forces weakening their will to hold the original structure and their manipulation. But as the financial system changes, they will still be in control of it. We release their will to do that. We bring in, this is interesting, as we open up to that, we feel a galactic flow coming in, coming in the back of your head, out through your systems. You'll feel your hands getting hot. This is our body signal that we're working directly with the galactic consciousness now. And by directing that flow of higher intelligence and consciousness into this grid of consciousness, it is affecting the movement into the fourth dimension by shifting the consciousness of all mankind. So we are the carriers, the activators of that, the catalysts. And all of mankind is getting uplift in their consciousness now through their psychic center, following the will that's already been set up through the soul center. Implanting the desire of dominion in the world. And dominion, as stated in the Bible, the first pages of the Bible, is that man shall have dominion over all the creatures of the earth and the seas and the lands, and all plants and things that fly. And that means we are the caretakers of earth, not the dominators of earth and the resources. By instigating dominion, the natural way of life as it existed for millions of years prior to the arrival of humans, we go back in time and feel the form of that perfection when Earth was a paradise where all life and creatures went through its cycles and evolutionary systems of growth and the evolution of consciousness, living out life in all ways possible. Now we use that force of consciousness and the power of the galactic center to neutralize the pollution, the disruption of nature's harmony. Everything that man has done on earth through domination, we send a force of consciousness to neutralize this now. Bring the world back into the pure and natural order. The new reality. The new world reality. And we feel joy come into our hearts, and joy is our body signal that lets us know it is good. Now we see the financial system shifting, being created, the new way of doing business on earth. We see the dinar as being the springboard of that, and it coming to release very quickly. I feel a lot of energy on this weekend on that, so I think we're there on that one. Now bring your awareness back up in your own systems. Take time to examine your own reality, your life. And with our group consciousness, we have the power and the ability to assist you to change anything in your life now that you'd like to have changed, including healing. Let this flow pour through you now, directly with your intent to your own healing work that needs to be done. Or direct this energy to others that you know Because it is the truth that we can only be at our best when we are to serve others, when we are the healthiest. Yes, you can feel the group mind shifting with that awareness. And a wonderful point here is this power and this point of realization that if we know something, if we just know it is so, and it is already done, such as seeing your health come back in the pure and natural order, and know it is done, this resonates through the 0 point in the heart to create that reality for you. And you feel your hands heat up, the left hand resonating the female polarity of undersoul, the right hand of oversoul, male-female polarity through the 0 point, manifesting your moment of now as we move forward in the standing waves of now. Through the power of the Christ within us, we see everyone in this listening audience in the pure and perfect and natural order of consciousness and health, and so they can be at their very best to help in this change and transition from domination to dominion. And we are at our very best and getting better. We have a few moments. Let's put our point of attention in our cellular consciousness into the DNA, that little computer consciousness in each cell of our bodies. And we look at the cells and the genes that are responsible for the aging process. We look at the telomeres, which are like a scoreboard of our progression through life. They're long and healthy and vital when we are young and evolving. They weaken and die, or they literally don't go away. They're still there. They just cease functioning. And so we want to revitalize the telomeres in our systems by visualizing, sending energy and activity into every cell in our body. You do this by visualizing one telomere, one cell of the factors, any of the factors that affect aging or health. We revitalize and we visualize ourselves youthening. This is the youthening process, and it is working. Feel yourself at a younger age, any age you want to be, and regenerate the telomeres that you had at that age when you were at your very best. And those of you, I picked up the thought from many of you that says, I was never at my best. Then go back in time when you created your life and your reality, and create a visualization of what your best should have and could have been, and bring that forward in time through the standing waves. Let that manifest as a new reality that you are creating that can help manifest the new world reality. And you feel the future resonating back to you through the 0 point of where that new world reality manifestation you are creating is resonating into the future, and that future resonates back to you what is needed now for it to express in the future. And we feel that balance of past, present, and future, all in this moment of now. This is where it's happening. And so it is. Bring your awareness back into your own systems now. Back up into the psychic center, and then forward into the soul center. And forward into your conscious reasoning moment of now. Back out into the world and see the world as the new now that we are creating. Okay, how's everybody doing out there?
Beautiful. I feel so delightfully balanced. Thank you very much for directing us through that.
Are your hands still tingling? My hands are just radiating energy.
My body is just pulsating with just unbelievable balance. Wonderful.
This was such a powerful one today, Frank. You know, we've had some amazing news, and I have to say it's got to be part of all the work that your group is doing. There was a news story, and I'm on several science forums, and the scientists are freaking out, as much as scientists can freak out about things, that there is an entirely new species that's developed here on planet Earth within the last couple of years. They're coming out, and I don't even think they've been holding this one back. I just think they're so excited that scientists are actually talking. There is a microorganism, which of course is very small, but still we are part of this ecosystem, so our DNA has some of this thing too. What's happened is there is a new life form that's living in Chernobyl, in the reactor core that went darn near supernova. What they're saying is, at this point, and they're saying it tentatively now, that humans have melanin. This animal eats melanin and starts to glow. This can mean, and this is what scientists are saying, not me, that humans are getting some of our energy from the radiation which is changed on this planet. It at least implies that there are organisms living in space that we know of where ionizing radiation is powerful, and we still have that in our DNA, and it's suddenly woken up. Like, I am a big proponent of panspermia kind of thing, so that we are here from everything that's ever been and ever will be. There are a whole bunch of things that do not originate on Earth, and there are some that we even know of that do originate on Earth and can go out in space. It's been proven that we are covered in this new electromagnetic smog and this radiation which is intense and global, but there is something in us, some of us, and they're finding, the results at this point are tentative, of course, but more and more of us, even the ones who have felt really sick, and they said if you felt really sick since around October, they've given us a date, since around October, and you're starting to suddenly feel better when the sun's out, you have adapted to this new energetic Earth, which our planet is harmonizing with. So it's one of the reasons we're finding all these old, ancient places that are still a resonating energy. So thank you so much, Frank. And you've been proven today. I have this article that has been backed up by science, as lame as science can be, that is saying, yes, we are getting new energies, and some of us are thriving. So much so that there is a new species now. We are witnessing a birth of a new species here on Earth.
I believe that very much. Just observing the growth in our own meditation group here, we know what's happening through anyone that's listening to us out there. Not only that, we have this realization that we don't have to know consciously how this is working, that we're being directed through the Galactic Federation, you want to call it that, I just call them the Galactics, that send these frequencies of energy to us, and we're the transducers of that energy, the catalyst, so to speak, that reaches out through the grid to touch everyone out there. And the more and more energy we can accumulate through the earthquake grid and other means, and the sun, that's well that you mentioned the sun, because that's exactly where we're getting a lot of this life force. And everything happens because of desire and will and intent working through the 0 point, particularly the 0 point of Earth. And that's what's making these transmutation changes occur. We reach back in time when the Earth was a paradise. And we're regenerating that paradise and taking it forward a whole new level with not only the new species of humans, but of all living things that can adapt to the changes and adapt very quickly. And those changes are taking us into the fourth dimension reality, raising us out of this third dimension reality of domination, which is really just a training ground, a proving station for what we are to be in the future. Do you agree with that?
100%. We are at the precipice of a change. And it's not because it's just happening. It's been happening for a long time, like you've been saying. And more people, even though we hear terrible news every day, and we still hear that, and they're doing their best to ramp up the fear and the terror and the whole terror porn industry. But there's something else that we feel too. There's something else we feel, and there's something else we know. We don't have to understand it. It doesn't matter if we understand it. Like you said, Frank, we just know this is right, and that we are being heard, and that these things need to continue, because we're still here. If we're still here, there's always a chance, no matter what nastiness is happening on this planet. They're acting in terror, and you can see them now. They're so obvious when they're doing the same things they've always done, and they're not working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we're about at the end of our time here, so we'll go on into the Stellar Energy Group, and Tracy, you're invited to that with us too. I hope someone can drop you in there for us. I can't seem to do anything from this computer.
I am so honored. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We enjoy your input very much, your energy. Mm-hmm. So with that, will someone drop Tracy into the... Maybe I can do it for me. I'll try. Everyone try. Somebody's bound to be successful.
Is this I hate to ask this live on air, is this a 2-hour show?
It is.
Would you like a break?
The second hour is not on the air. It's a private group that needs to discuss this thing. And that's really where the fun is, because of the things we get into and discuss. It's an incredible group of people.
Wonderful.
And it's amazing to me to see their evolution of consciousness and how they're growing within this group. They are the mastermind and the powerhouses that's making this happen. So you're welcome to join us.
I would be grateful. And everyone, you've been listening to the Earth Mind Group. Thank you very much for listening today, and I am going to hand this back over to Dave. And any final words, any projects or homework you would like to give the listeners till Saturday when you come back?
I think he's already booked off the call.
Okay.
Tracy, I'm going to say thank you very much for producing us today.
My pleasure. I will be back with you next Wednesday.
Everybody just keep very positive and don't let the fear get to you. Just turn it off and
what fear? What fear?
Yeah, no, there is no fear. There's just joy and love everywhere.
Right on.
Thank you, Tracy. Have a beautiful
Tracy,
day.
thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and we're signing off for now.
Bye.
Love, light, live. Enjoy this time that we're in. Yes, it's scary, but do we not like a little bit of a roller coaster? We are here. It is perfect.